On to my second last day here with one guy, and after calling in a bunch of moose, nothing big enough. We did call in one, but we got ghosted. Called them in about 1.5 kilometers away. Massive bull. Took him off 2 cows, but we got him within 200 yards, and then tree line, and then he just took off. So tomorrow's supposed to be pretty crappy. Just up calling now in this area. What I'm going to do next is for the evening session, I'm going to get up there and it looks over the whole back valley as well, and scope around, and probably going to head up there in about an hour. And then it gives us some time in case we see one in the distance, we can go after it. So that's it. Boy shot one this morning by the camp. Woke up. There was a pretty nice bull outside. Had a good rack. I don't know. It was still... There's a lot of fog, so I'm not sure exactly how big it was, but I'll know when I go back. But it was a good sized moose. So this is it. Can't take it too serious because, I mean, look at this. I mean, it's just beautiful. So I'm gonna finish off this hour of calling. There's been a bull and a cow right below us, and I called in 3 bulls up on the other ridge this morning. A couple of grunts, and then the next minute I know the cows started just bawling, so I guess they met up. Some cows were there as well, so that's all you do. Keep enjoying it. All right, peace. This week was absolutely nuts. Like, didn't matter where you were, what you did, how your call sounded, the moose just came out of everywhere for the call. Through the whole week, it was just calm. There wasn't much wind, so the call was traveling. And in total, I think throughout that week, he had about 19 moose come to the call. He had already shot a fairly nice sized moose out in BC quite a few years back, so he was looking for a good sized animal. And we're just getting all these smaller animals come to the call, anywhere from 4 to about 8-10 points. We had 4 solid tunes at some pretty nice paddled bulls, and then there was that one that I kind of mentioned a little bit earlier. I mean, this was just huge, and kind of like the one big bull you usually get a season, just that absolute trophy. Tears you up a little bit, but I mean, that's just the way the guiding goes. I mean, we were able to bring the moose in, but it was just those bigger ones. Once they got close enough to you, they just got ghosted. The area that I was pointing to, the top of that ridge, well, just down below it, we were there first thing that morning. The fog was thick. I mean, we couldn't even see within about half the time. You couldn't see within about 50 yards. I mean, there was one stage where, after about half an hour calling, all of a sudden I'm hearing a bull to my right, and out of nowhere, another bull would be barking to our left, and then there was another one grunting. I mean, there was one stage we had 3 bulls grunting around us, but I mean, we couldn't see anything. I mean, they could have been 80 yards away. I mean, they could, but there's nothing we could do. So there was quite a few unfortunate situations like that. I mean, luck would eventually change, and then the second group came in and was paired up with a bit of a younger hunter, and he was pretty active. It's our first day. He arrived yesterday. And we've seen 4 moose today, called in 1 bull, 6-point bull, just over here. That's where they have a tent camp, and we're just on the platform here now. So we called in a few different areas, but we have just over an hour hike back to camp. So we're going to take off here now. It's 5:30. It's a huge bull further off in the distance, didn't chase it, and 2 cows. So I'm going to climb down, hopefully not fall, and start again tomorrow. But this was it for the day. We set out one morning and the fog was super thick. We got to an area and the same thing. Brought a moose in, brought a smaller bull in, and then we heard one grunting in the distance. And then from there, we just took off and just tried to cover as much ground as possible that day, get some vantage points. Coming back that second day, the wind picked up, so we decided, all right, well, let's kind of make our way back towards camp, try and get more shelter in this one area that we're used to calling. Even then, it was echoing a bit. The call was going, but there wasn't much. So I just looked at the Google Maps, and I noticed that there was a bit of a bog, probably about 200 yards to our left. So we booked it through the trees. And once we got there, I ended up nicknaming it the Coliseum, because you got there, it was just this perfect circular bowl of sorts, and behind you there was this pretty high ridge, so it just blocked all the wind. But it's crazy because as soon as we got there, we got settled down, I threw it a cow call, and I heard all this commotion in the woods, and the guy I was with, he didn't quite hear it, but I said, get ready, like that. I just heard an animal. Anyway, sure enough, nothing happened for about 15-20 minutes, and by now it's 5:30. We're about an hour's hike from the camp. We're gonna head off around 6, and just heard this bit of commotion, nothing, kept calling, all of a sudden, boom, big old grunt. Anyways, I left it for a bit, because after the previous week, I mean, I'm sure I was able to get the smaller moose, but I didn't know what this was, the smaller bulls. So I left for a bit, made another grunt, nothing, made another grunt, sure enough, he grunted back, and then this bull and I, for about 10-15 minutes, were just grunting back and forth. I didn't know what to do with myself. And then finally, I heard him just bashing his paddle, scraping against the tree. And once you started hearing that clunk, I mean, you know he's a good sized bull. And sure enough, you know, he just got very saucy and came out into the open. I mean, it wasn't a massive bull, you know, all right sized paddle, but you know, the hunter he previously got a pretty nice sized animal, and he had been to the same outfitter before, about 5 years past. I mean, he was looking for just something with a bit of a paddle on it, a bit of palmation. And so he came out, and I was too busy focusing on, I mean, once he came out in the open, I mean, he was about 150 yards, 120 yards shot away. So, I mean, I was just focused on getting some footage, and I mean, here he was out in the open, and I was just waiting to see if John was going to take him or not. And sure enough, boom, took him down. So yeah, that was a pretty good, that was an exciting hunt.
And you know, the first shot I thought, well, I probably should wait till he gets closer, but he was so close to broadside. You did an incredible job just to persistently keep at him and keep at him. What a perfect setup. I mean, this is so unbelievably beautiful, quiet, and man, this is everything I wanted. Thank you, buddy. All right. Well,
so it was blowing a gale out there. We had an hour left. It's I don't know, almost close to 6, and it was blowing a gale. We found this little haven in here. We made a couple calls, thought I heard something right off the bat, and then he just came. So we'll go see him here now.
Focused on
what you had? Yeah, that's what I said. Like, I didn't see you. I was like, man, is he hearing this? Because you didn't look at me, and I was like,
no. By that time, my heart was pounding, and I was full in.
Oh, he's got a paddle.
Yeah.
Looks like 12 points.
Oh, he is in the water. Oh, perfect.
He's done.
Yeah, he's folded up.
Then the remaining weeks just carried on as the same, you know, nothing too spectacular happened. I mean, we were out there calling moose. Moose were coming in, shooting them, cleaning up. Just like that. I mean, 2024 big game guidance season was in the books, all wrapped up. It was enjoyable to see some new area, and I must admit, so far that was one of my favorite spots to have guided out of. Now, looking forward to next year. Can't come soon enough.